This video is for my students, it's my interpretation, it's my analysis, and today we're looking at post-colonial texts. Okay, today, guys, we're looking at Took the Children Away, which is a song by Archie, Roach, and we're also going to be looking at a poem called We Are Going by Oodgeroo, Noonuccal. So your task for this basically was to analyse them, to pick out some, three language techniques and their effect, as well as what the purpose of the text was. So I went through. This is how I take my notes. You might take your notes a little bit differently. I obviously had to analyse two because I'm teaching you both of them. However, you only have to pick one. So the first one that I'm going to discuss is my analysis about Took the Children Away by Archie Roach. If you would like to listen to that song, the link will be in the description below or also located on my end online. So I thought it was really interesting, like each couplet is actually, it goes in rhyming couplets for majority of the whole song. True you, keep sheep, hand, land, pray, away, breast, best, policeman, understand, give, live, said, instead, etc., throughout the whole song. So when we break it down, there's things like the simile, fences in like sheep, which is they were treated like animals. It was the systemic racism. Thanks for my sister for helping me with that one. As well as, really the prison system as well, if you really wanted to analyse it, because of Australia's prejudice within the judicial system. Also, there's symbolism for the age of the children by snatched from their mother's breast, said this is for the best, because most children taken away, obviously, when they first started it, it was all children, no matter what the age, but it became easier to take children who were younger because, then you just grow up with what you're taught, which is why now there is still so much anguish and grief about it because, like, children who are trying to connect with their heritage, again, my interpretation, I am not an Indigenous person, but I can only imagine not being able to connect with your own identity that people put you with, if that kind of makes sense. I'm happy for an Indigenous person to reach out and give me perspective if they'd like. I'm totally open to that. Also, so took them away or really land. It's a reoccurring motif or theme almost because it just repeats. They took the children away, took the children away, the children away, and that just repeats throughout the whole song, as well as land because we've got sent off to mission land, and then it said, I think, something about mother's land on the back. If anything, that could be like a different parallelism because you start with they sent us off to mission land and then at the back it's back to their mother's land. We've got the pathetic fallacy imagery, one dark day on Framingham. I'm not too sure what town or place that is. I haven't heard of it. But obviously showing the mood. It's one dark day on Framingham, come and didn't give a damn. My mother cried, go get their dad. He came running, fighting mad. Mother's tears were falling down. Dad shaped up and stood his ground. He said, you touch my kids and you fight me. Obviously, reciting the day that they were taken away, which would be dark and horrible. You're taken away from everything that you know and love and feel comfortable in, and you're taken off to some weird thing, being told by some stranger how to live your life. I thought there was some irony when, told us to do and say, told us the white man's ways. Then they split up again and gave us gifts to ease the pain. It's kind of ironic to give someone a gift, off you go, new house for you, here's a teddy. I can't imagine that, which again, this is my perspective, it's my interpretation as a non-Indigenous white person in Australia. Then the very last couple of stanzas, one sweet day all the children came back, the children come back, the children come back. Back where their hearts grow strong, back where they all belong. The children came back, said the children come back. Then the children came back, back where they understand, back to their mother's land. The children come back. Back to their mother, back to their father, back to their sister, back to their brother, back to their people, back to their land. All the children come back. The children come back. The children come back. Yes, I came back. So that use of family as well, where these last two stanzas weren't quite parallelism, because obviously at the start it's taking away and then at the end they all come back. So obviously, like, this is an allegory of the stolen generation where they're all taken away. Actually an interesting thing to research, because obviously this song is a generation or so back when released. I'm wondering if these last two stanzas were released later. Product placement of Windex, sorry. I'm not too sure, but that would be something I'd be researching. So that was kind of my analysis and interpretation of Took the Children Away. When I was looking through We Are Going by Oodgeroo Noonuccal, an allegory of the Europeans arriving / invading. I'm not going to give my personal stance here. As I say to my students, you're allowed to interpret it how you are. So they came into the little town, a semi-naked band, subdued and silent, all that remained of their tribe. Like, that just that represents like what is left. Like, that's it. That's all that's left. It's just like they've taken over everything. Where they came to the place of their old Bora ground, where now the many white men hurry like ants. Simile. Notice of the estate agent reads, "Rubbish may be tipped here." Like, that's what's been left of their culture, essentially, where you've come in and what was it? The closing of Uluru. Everyone's like, "How dare you close it? I want to climb it." And it's like, you could just walk around outside and just look how beautiful it is from the outside, because it is it's a sacred site. I'm not too sure the reasonings for why it's sacred. Again, I'm not very literate in Indigenous culture. When learning about teaching Indigenous people going through the Australian school system, like, my knowledge of their culture is that of a 5-year-old. So it's so interesting. Like, I want to learn about it. I don't want to wreck it. Like, I'm not going to climb up Uluru if it's going to make them upset. I'm happy to take the sacred site to around it. It was interesting hearing the comparison. It was, it's like if someone decided to go dig up your grandmother's grave and put a house on the cemetery. No one would want that. So, it's a really blunt, straightforward. Just, this is the all that remained of their tribe. The old Bora ground, old Bora ring, Bora ground, Bora ring is gone. Obviously it repeats. It's a symbol or a motif. I don't know what a Bora is. Probably would have helped if I looked it up. Here, we'll just B-O-R-A, Bora. It's a company, apparently. There, Indigenous Bora rings. Initiation ceremony of the Aboriginal people of Eastern Australia. Oh. Women and children were not permitted to be present at the sacred Bora ground with these rituals. Oh, okay, so this is a sacred site for the men of the clan, tribe. I'm not too sure what the appropriate group name is. Okay, so it's a sacred ceremony spot. Okay, that makes sense. Well, that's even Can you imagine what the Italians or all Christians around the world would be like if we turned up to the Vatican City and changed it? I mean, it's like when the Notre Dame. Oh crikey, I'm not very good. Really big fancy church in France. When it burnt down, it was burning down the same time as rainforests were, and everyone poured like billions of dollars towards restoring this church, sacred ceremony site. Okay. Repetition of we are here. Sorry, not we are here. Sorry, we are. We are as strangers here now. We are the corroboree and the bora ground. We are the old ceremonies, the laws of the elders. We are the wonder tales of dream time. We are the past, the hunts. Really just, and then in the last stanza, gone now scattered. The scrubs are gone. The eagle is gone. Really, a lot of powerful repetition. And the final statement, the title of the poem, which is We Are Going, is only said once in the very last line. The corroboree is gone and we are going. So it's a really powerful, so I'm not too sure when it was published, but the video that I found in the description below was, I believe, 1986 video of, I'm sorry, I'm doubting how I'm saying this lovely poet's name, Oodgeroo Noonuccal, of her actually speaking it with just someone else's images around it. So anyway, so that's, personification, pathetic fallacy of we are the lightning bolt over Gaphambar Hill. Quick and terrible. Apologies about all my mispronunciations. I need to obviously go and get some better knowledge about a subject like this. But those are the two poems that we are analysing and looking at. So I hope this helps you guys if you're a bit stuck about what language techniques to use. Email me if you've got any questions, but not any weirdos on the internet. Bye, guys. Oh dear.